About an hour outside of Prague in the Czech Republic, or Czechia as it is now officially known, there's a church. Now, there's no obvious reason why this church would be anything particularly out of the ordinary, maybe just the final resting place of some people from the surrounding area, but it's actually the resting place of countless thousands. The story goes back to the 13th century, to an abbot from the area who travelled to Jerusalem and brought back some sacred soil and spread it in the cemetery behind me. That increased the desirability of being buried here at Sedlec markedly. In the few centuries after that, a couple of things happened which greatly increased the number of people being buried here. There was the plague and there were the Hussite wars. All of these things added tens of thousands of bodies to this cemetery. Indeed, the popularity of the cemetery saw it grow to over 35,000 square meters. During the 14th century, this church behind me, it was constructed on that land, and during that construction, obviously, a lot of bones were dug up. Further, they needed to remove other bones because they needed to bury new bodies. Interesting side note here, in the US, burial plots are granted in perpetuity, so technically family members of the buried person could come and visit that grave for the rest of time. In much of the rest of the world, graves are dug up and reused when people have stopped visiting them. If you want to learn more about that, do check out the video I'm linking to in the description below. Anyway, these bones had to go somewhere, and so the people doing the work started stacking them in the basement in this chapel. And here they stayed for nearly half a millennium. Eventually, it was decided that something needed to be done about all the bones in the basement. The Czech architect Jan Blažej Centýný-Achel started creating decorations with the bones. Then, in 1870, a woodcarver was brought on to organize and do something with the huge number of bones that remained. Must have been quite the job description for a woodcarver. Anyway, this man's name was František Rindt, and he started this huge task by cleaning all of the bones and bleaching them. Then he started building decorations with them. Bones line the walls, skulls hang suspended from the ceiling, but the centerpiece has to be the most remarkable thing here. It's said to contain nearly every bone in the human body. Macabre, yes, but also curiously beautiful. And this is also a functional church, so all of these decorations, they're not just here to entertain tourists, they're very much connected with Christianity, and you can see many symbols of the faith around this building. Now you might look at all of this and marvel at the sheer number of hours that go into making so many decorations. And all of this was actually funded by a European noble family called the Schwarzenbergs, and Rindt, as a thank you to them, well, he constructed this version of their family crest. It's made entirely out of human bones. And to mark all of this work as his own, he even signed his own name in human bones. The killing fields of Cambodia, where the broken skulls of murdered millions can be seen piled high, or the hair of the murdered millions behind the glass at Auschwitz, or maybe the rows of dead in the fields at Flanders. Those provide a brutal look into the worst of humanity, and deaths that hopefully none of us will ever have to face. But Sedlec, with its less brutal history, is perhaps an even colder reminder of our own mortality, a reminder that we're probably not going to be killed in a war or a genocide, but that we'll someday die, and all that will remain will be bones and dust. Memento mori. And on that cheery note, let me thank you for watching. I'd also like to thank Sedlec Ossery for accommodating me here today, and also, of course, our Patreons who make this video possible. I'm always looking to visit interesting places and do interesting things, so if you have any suggestion or inspiration for me, please let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching.